Hello everyone, today I am here to share with you my monthly book haul. Today's video is sponsored by Book of the Month, and before we start talking about their July selections, I do want to quickly talk about them. So if you don't know, Book of the Month has come under some hot water recently that, if that's the right terminology, I hope it is. If not, I apologize, over their lack of diversity when it comes to their monthly selection. And I would have to agree with that it's not diverse enough. Since then, they have released a long statement and actually plan of what they plan to do to remedy this because they see the error in their ways and they want to change it and they want to feature more Black authors, more diverse reads and things like that. If this month's selection, July's month, is what to go by, I do have hope for them. I will be watching them very closely, as I'm sure a lot of you are as well, with good reason, because you want to have book boxes be diverse as possible. I'm glad that they have a plan in action, and I hope that they will continue to go with it. So this is not to say like they are a perfect company. No company is, and I'm not defending them and I'm not doing anything like that. I am just trying to be honest and transparent with you that yes, they definitely are not doing the best, but I think they can do better in the future, and I can see them trying, and I hope they can do, and I hope they continue to keep trying in the future. So I just want to be fully transparent with you. So if you don't know about Book of the Month, Book of the Month is a book box where 5 selections come out at the very beginning of the month where you can choose one of them or 3 of them if you so desire. They have a whole bunch of different genres. A lot of times you can find some literary fiction, romance, historical fiction even, thrillers usually, and they always try to feature a lot of debut authors or even early releases. So like I said, you can select one book a month for the price of $14.99, which I think is a great price because hardcover books ain't cheap, let me tell you that. So with $14.99, you get to pick what book of the selection that you want. You can also pick 2 additional titles, whether it be from that current month, or you can go back on their site and look at all of their past selections and you can pick 2 from there. Or if you're not feeling any selections that month, or just not feeling like having that month, you can skip a month and your code and money will be redeemable for next month. If you're interested in getting Book of the Month for your very first month, you can use the code NEW5 and you can get your very first book for only $9.99, which honestly is a steal. Which, just to be fully transparent, that's what Book of the Month is all about, and hopefully they will be changing with diverse in their selections and things like that. And I think this month they did a really good job about that. So now to show you the 5 selections for July's Book of the Month picks. The first one is Mexican Gothic by Sylvia Morano Garcia, which this cover is stunning. Like, goodness me. So this one, I know it's really pitched as a Gothic suspense, which I've read a lot of suspense novels, but I've never really, I feel like, read like a true Gothic one. I've read maybe 1 or 2, but this one, just the cover even looks super Gothic. It takes place in Mexican countryside, and we have this woman that goes to the aid of her cousin, I believe, and she goes to this like really old house, and it's creepy and things are happening, and maybe it's like a haunted house. It just sounds amazing. I mean, the cover, the title is Mexican Gothic. I'm super excited for this one, and it's short too, so I could probably fly through it in a matter of days, and I'm planning on doing that soon. I am trying to up my game when it comes to scare factor. Next up, we have The Beauty and the Breaking by Michelle Harper. This is actually a nonfiction memoir, whatever you want to classify the genre as. And this is about an ER doctor, an African-American ER doctor. About her road of how she got to be an ER doctor, of her marriage, and also with the injustice she faces every time she enters work in a field that's dominated mostly by white men. So it's really her full story of everything and how she tries to connect to each patient that she meets, and it sounds like it's going to be a really gripping and harrowing tale, and I do want to read it, but I have a hard time with like hospital reads because I have a lot of medical anxiety, so like I have to be careful about what I read because then I'll think I have it, and it's horrible. But this sounds like an amazing book. I've heard the tagline like move over to Grey's Anatomy, which I'm ready for that, but I'm really excited about it. And yeah, a memoir, and I need to read more memoirs. I need to do that. Next up, we have Head Over Heels by Hannah Orenstein, which I have actually already read this. This I would classify as a woman's fiction romance book. We follow a character named Avery who is a very trained gymnast, and she was training to be in Olympics all of her life. And then when she gets to the age of like 17 or something, she tries out for the Olympics, and then she gets injured, and so she can't really be a competitor anymore. So she's devastated. Years go by, she doesn't do anything, and now years later she's a adult, and her boyfriend breaks up with her, so she decides decides to move back home, and she starts to help this guy that she used to have a crush on train this other young girl to become an Olympic, to join in the Olympic team. And I'd say if you really are a fan of gymnastics and just the really cutthroat world of that, because goodness me it is, this is a great book for that. Also, the really big character progression Avery has, because she was trained for so long in this gymnastics world, and it was very cutthroat for her, that she has a hard time of like loosening up and trying to figure out who she really is beneath being a gymnast. She's more than that. So I really liked it, would recommend it, and the cover is very yellow. I have such a fond love of yellow on covers. Next up, we have another nonfiction, I believe. It's called Big Friendship and How We Keep Each Other Close by Amito So and Anne Friedman. So these two women are the host of the podcast called Call Your Girlfriend, and I'm horrible with podcasts. There's so many that I'm interested in, and I honestly just don't have the time for them. But this is pretty much, it says, a close friendship is one of the most influential and important relationships a human can contain. Anyone will tell you that, but most people don't talk about what it really takes to stay friends for the long haul. So this is all about their friendship, and, you know, when you have friends and how you do keep friends. I don't know how to say that. Like, you know, keep them close. I have had two best friends since I was 16, and I'm now 31 now. We don't talk as much, but we always know we're there for each other. I can't wait to read this because I really love, like, I'm the type of person that thinks that you don't need a ton of best friends. Like, you don't need a ton of them. You need a few that you really can rely on, that you can call family almost. So I am so excited for this. I think I'm going to read this and I'll probably fall in love with it, and then I'm going to have to listen to the podcast. At least here's to hoping. Friendships are so important. And the last selection is The Shadows by Alex North. I am currently reading this right now, and it is scaring the mess out of me. If you can't tell by the title of this, it's like a thriller, horror, I don't know what to call it, scaring the crap out of me. This is about, it takes place in two timelines. So a long time ago, this teenager named Charlie Crabtree was very, very dark and sinister, and a big murder happened pretty much. And after that, Charlie disappeared, and we follow the point of view of Paul, who was actually one of Charlie's friends when he was younger. And when this big murder happened of their shared friend, Paul moved away because he really couldn't handle it. And now 25 years later, he's back in this town. He's noticing that there have been a lot of copycat killings, much like Charlie did. And so he's trying to figure it out because it's getting really close to him. And is Charlie dead? Where did he go 25 years ago? What is happening? This is creepy. I would say the less you know about this book is better, because it's weird. It is a weird book for sure. It definitely will affect your dreams. And coincidentally, it actually has a lot of dream talk in it. So really creepy. So there you have the 5 selections of July for Book of the Month. Like I said, this month is very diverse, and I'm happy with their selections, and I hope they will continue to be just as diverse as this month in the future. So I'm hopeful, and I'll just be keeping an eye on them like all of us will. But either way, I'm excited for every single one of these books. Like, I'm gonna need to read them ASAP. All of them. Immediately. Well, I've already read one, so that's progress. Moving on to books I've bought. I've bought a fair few. The first one being Clap When You Land by Elizabeth Acevedo. I have already read this. The cover is stunning. It's probably my favorite cover this year. Not only that, but the hardback. Oh my gosh. So this book is told in verse, and it's about 2 characters, one named Camino and one named Yahira, and one of them lives in the Dominican Republic and one of them lives in New York. And pretty much they share a father that they don't know that they share. Their dad is kind of leading a double life, and their dad dies in a plane crash, which this book is actually based on the plane, like an actual plane crash that did happen, that was flying from New York to the Dominican Republic, where one of our characters lives. And it's just about each of their feelings with their dad, and then finally realizing that each other exist. And it is a beautiful book. I don't read a ton of books in verse, but gosh, Elizabeth Acevedo, like that, her writing is just so stunning. I highlighted so many parts of this book that were just so, like, resounded with me and just stuck with me. And this is a beautiful book. I would highly recommend it, even if you're not a fan of books in verse like myself. I don't read a ton of them, but this one is going to stick with me forever. Highly recommend you checking out. And the freaking spine. This covers everything. Next up, I bought My Calamity Jane, written by Cynthia Ham, Brody Ashton, and Jody Meadows. I was supposed to read this already. I started it, but then I just got carried away with other books. So this is their third and last book in the Jane series, if I'm not mistaken, where they take famous Janes and kind of do a twist on their story. The first one was about Jane that was a queen for a day. Then the second one was about Jane Eyre, and this one is about Calamity Jane, and also Annie Oakley's in it. So it's like got a Wild Wild West feel to it, which I'm excited about, but I think that's why I haven't really read it more, because I'm not like the biggest Wild Wild West fan. I don't know why I keep saying that, but we'll just go with it. But I really love these authors working together. Their books are so funny, so hilarious. I think they're going to have a new series with a new character's name. I can't remember it right now, but I will read this one day, and probably soon. It's just very long. I don't know why it intimidates me. I'm probably going to fly through it. Next up, I bought and read this month, Crave by Tracy Wolff. This book, can't tell by the cover, it is clearly like a Twilight ripoff, which Twilight, but I read it with Crystal from Crystal Marie Books this month, and we had a great time reading it, because it's not the best book. I have like a whole video talking about like this particular book and things of how I felt. It's a cheesy vampire book that's clearly very Twilight inspired. There's not a lot of plot. The characters are not that great, but if you love vampires and want a brooding vampire following for a really naive and not the putting two and two together girl, there you go. It is going to be a series. I will continue on with it because I just don't know what's going to happen. So that's all I'm going to tell you about it, because I really think that's all you need to know. Next up is A Deadly Inside Scoop by Abby Collette. So I bought this, well, I was drawn to this first of all by the cover. Any cover that's hot pink and has ice cream automatically has my money. But it's like a cozy mystery book, and I haven't read a ton of cozy mysteries. I know it's a whole genre within its own, and I want to start checking them out. So this is a first book in a new series, I believe. Yeah, an ice cream parlor mystery. Yeah, I want that. So it's about a woman that buys her family ice cream shop, and I think murders happen and things like that. That's all I know about it, and I'm excited. I think cozy mysteries are supposed to be like not scary but funny and like mysterious with murders. I don't know how that works out, but I mean, I'm gonna read this summer, and I'm probably gonna love it, because ice cream murders, I don't know what I'm saying. The last book I bought is another one I've already read, and that is Eileen Affair by Priscilla Oliveres. So I read this on NetGalley a few months ago, and I fell in love with it. It's an underrated read for sure, an underrated summer read. It's a fake dating trope about Louis and Sarah, who meet each other in the Florida Keys, and they pretend that they're together, and with all romance books, I always say, you can guess what happens next. But I really loved it, and the cover screamed summer, and I was just like, I really want to own this, because it's going to be a series, and I do plan to read the series, and it was just a really cute summer romance. Is it super amazing? No, but if you're looking for just a fun summer romantic read, I would recommend checking this one out. Now moving on to the books I was sent for review. As always, I'm very grateful and honored that I'm able to get books, so I do not take that for granted whatsoever. This book that I want to talk about that I pretty much squealed when I got this in the mail, and I've already read that, is You Add Me At Hola by Alexis Dario. I read this month on NetGalley, and goodness me, definition of swoon right here. So this book is about these two characters that kind of work on telenovela stars, and they pretty much meet, and they are starring in this brand new show that's on pretty much Netflix, let's just say that, and they are like the leading characters, and of course steaminess happens and things like that, and it was just so like chef's kiss, I want to say. I really enjoyed it, highly recommend it. I believe it does not come out till, oh wait, it comes out in July. I thought it got pushed back to August. I don't know. Either way, please keep your eyes peeled for this, because I was obsessed with this book. And the cover, I also am obsessed with. Why'd I whisper that? I'm not sure. From Atria, I have Invisible Girl by Lisa Joel. This is her upcoming thriller book that comes out in October, I believe. I've read 3 or 4 of her books before. I have a love-hate relationship with them. I do enjoy them, some more than others. This one sounds very intriguing. Yeah, it's about a teenager named Safri who goes missing, and then I think it follows a boy that like is very quiet and stuff, and they suspect him. I'm not sure. With thrillers, I think the less you know, the better. Next up, from St. Martin's Press, I have The Second Home by Christina Clancy. Again, another summery cover. I really love summery covers. I've learned like they might be my favorite seasonal covers. Like in the font on this, I love. So this one is, I think, like a literary fiction, women's fiction book about a family's home on Cape Cod where all this family has come together, and yeah, it's a debut novel that captures the ache of nostalgia for summers past and the powerful draw of the places we return to again and again. It is about second homes, second families, and second chances. So like a family drama type of book, I would say. I haven't heard many people talk about this, so I'll have to do some research on it, but if the cover's as beautiful what's inside, I'm excited for it. Next up, I have The Life and Medieval Times of Kitt Sweetly by Jamie Packton. This is a book like about a medieval festival or restaurant, which I don't know anything about, but I'm drawn to. Ever since I read Well Met by Jen DeLuca, like anything Renaissance and stuff like that, I'm like, yes, I need more of that in my life. A girl named Kitt Sweetly who pretty much wishes that she could be a knight like her brother. And so the company only allows guys to be knights, so she takes her brother's place, clobbers the Green Knight, and reveals her identity at the end of the show. She rockets into internet fame and a whole lot of troubles with management, but the girl knight won't go down without a fight. It sounds awesome, and I'm here for it. Next up, I have If We Were Us by K.L. Walther. So this one follows 4 characters, and it's about this prestigious school, Bexley School. And I believe it's all about these 4 characters where like you think one of them's going to get together with the other one, and it's just all about their friendship and relationship and romantic relationship, if you will, either. I love books set in like boarding schools because I'm a sucker for those, so I'm very excited for this one. Next up, I have another summary cover. If you can't tell what I like at all, She's Faking It by Kristen Rockaway. This girl's floating literally in a coconut. I wish I could be that because that looks, I don't even like coconut. I don't like the taste of coconut at all, but I love the smell of it. Oh my gosh. So this book is about a girl named Bree who lives in San Diego, and she delivers food as Grub Getter, and then she starts a new Instagram account, and then she gets a signal boost from none other than this self-help guru, Demi. And now she's like a rising Instagram, and everything's lining up for Bree, and then she realizes that, you know, this really isn't my life. I'm faking it. So it's all about that. Is it summery? I'm not sure. The cover's summery, so I'm gonna hopefully guess it's gonna be summery. Next up, I have The Falling in Love Montage by Sierra Smith. This got sent to me by Epic Reads, and this is about Sorsha, I believe, and about a girl named Ruby who, if they meet and they don't need true love to have one summer of fun, complete with every cliche, rom-com, montage-worthy date they can dream up. It would be the perfect plan if they weren't forgetting the one thing about the falling in love montage. When it's over, the characters have fallen in love for real. It sounds adorable, and I'm excited for it. Again, super summery and super adorable. Last section of books I have are books I've gotten from book boxes. The first 3 I'm going to show you are Outcrates. First 2 are going to be from the May Outcrate box. The first one is Incendiary by Zordada Kovera. Hopefully I pronounced that right. This book is so heavy. Like, I could use this as a weapon. This book, oh goodness, I'm not sure what it's about. It's a YA fantasy, and it's about a character that is taken captive, I believe, and she has to keep her cover. Something like that. I'm not sure. I forgot. I will link my video. And they also sent a graphic novel in with that as well called Witchy by Ariel Samet Rees. And this is about a witch character, and I'm all about that. So I'm very excited for it. And this month's book they selected was Where Dreams Descend by Janella Angeles. And this is stunning. There's no dust jacket, if you can tell. It's just hardback, and I love it. This pitch it as Moulin Rouge meets Family Opera, and I'm here for it, and that's all I need to know about it because I'm excited to read it. In fact, I'm really excited to read both of these, so I might do a reading vlog where I read a lot of my Outcrate books, and I know they have an Outcrate readathon. I should probably look into that. And the last 2 books are from the Real Bookish box I got this month. They're a book box that pairs like books with movies, and this month's theme was Little Woman, so of course they sent a copy of Little Woman, and they also sent a copy of Joe and Laurie by Margaret Stoll and Melissa De La Cruz. This is a imagining of what would happen if Joe and Laurie would end up together, and I'm happy to say that I have read Little Woman this year. That's right, I've read a classic, and I'm very proud of myself. So that is all the books I have to share with you guys. I hope you enjoyed them. Again, check out Book of the Month if you are so inclined to. I understand if not, but I hope you enjoyed watching this and watching all of these amazing books being added to my TBR pile. I will read them all one day, I promise. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.